Alright, just waiting for confirmation that the stream is good to go. Hoping so.
Yep.
Had some technical difficulties for the stream in qualifying. Sorry that you guys had to miss it, but we are lights out and away we go here with a front row lockout for the Williams team once again. Fight in the championship really coming down to it. They're off and running. It is Mikey DeYoung with a good getaway, but Al-Hazmi sticking right with him. Boryoshi also coming along for the ride. Mikey DeYoung will take the inside for turn 1. Oh, and Boryoshi sailing off the outside. He will maintain that P3 position, though. Did not get bent too out of shape because of it. Mikey DeYoung, though, already building out somewhat of a lead here. AJ Knickel making the move around Tyler Crabtree as well for P5, so the Aston team is currently P4 and P5.
Yeah. Oh, and
there's contact in the back. Jamie Knock and Luke Allen, I believe, with Fidel Fabian sort of getting caught up in it as well. Big twitch
I think that was actually Fidel got into Jamie Knock and absolutely spun him around there.
Oh, he used him as a bumper, more or less. Oh, no. So that'll be a big climb back to the rest of the pack for Jamie Knock, unfortunately. Already about 6 seconds behind. Luke Allen, though, looking to get the best of Fidel off of that trouble here for P8. Bit of a thin grid tonight. All positions will be point-scoring positions if the driver is able to finish the race, or at least 90% of it, of course.
Yeah, also want to point out, we thought we were broadcasting qualifying. It turns out it wasn't, but want to point our attention to the tip of the grid. Mikey DeYoung with a 32-point cushion over his teammate Abdullah Al-Azmi for the championship. The championship could be well and done today if Mikey DeYoung stays where he is now.
Yeah, a win here regardless of Al-Hazmi's finishing position. A win for Mikey DeYoung will cement his role as driver's champion for the ARC 2023 F1 season. However,
all he has to do is finish ahead of him in any position.
Any position, that is, yeah. A win, of course, seals the deal, but for Al-Hazmi to really have a shot at this, as mentioned in qualifying, sorry that you missed it, Al-Hazmi would have to win both races, get fastest lap, and have his teammate Mikey DeYoung finish no higher than 4th. If he finishes higher than 4th in either of these races, then it is a done deal. And of course, starting on pole yet again here today at Losail, I mean, he's really hoping for it now, already building himself out over a second gap to Al-Hazmi.
Yep, we see Matthew Daly actually going to the hards at the start. Differing strategy from his teammate. Also want to point out Matthew Daly in the Aston tonight. Matthew Stott's not here. Daly getting the call up from Ferrari to Aston. And just a bunch of drivers missing. There was a close battle that should have been on hand with Jamie Knock and Andrew Davis, separated by, I believe they were tied, Alex?
Yeah, tied in the championship for P9. 86 points apiece. However, no attendance here for one of those drivers, so it should be a done deal for Jamie Knock if he's able to finish this race.
Well, where he's sitting now, he'd only be acquiring the 1 point, so it's not too bad for Andrew Davis.
Yeah, thin grid as mentioned. Matt Daly looking to take the fight to that Red Bull early, of course. On those hard compound tires, interestingly, with Boryoshi opting for the mediums off the start.
Yep, top 3 on mediums. So, and then obviously AJ there in P5.
Looks like team orders have Matt Daly to haul the mail, more or less. I mean, he's already built himself out about a 1.5 gap to his teammate AJ Knickel, currently P5.
And these top 2 are absolutely pushing right now. Like I said, they're going to have, well, nobody would have heard me. ERS management here. Only 1 heavy braking zone. Hard to get back what you spend.
Oh, and it looks like Boryoshi might have got a little loose out of turn 12 or 13, as he's now dropped back a 1.5 seconds to Al-Hazmi himself, previously being only about 6 or 7 tenths behind, well within DRS range. Matt Daly smells blood in the water, it looks like. He's looking to make that move on the Red Bull as soon as possible, sticking right with him.
Looking to get his 2nd podium of the season.
Boryoshi, of course, a lock at this point for P3 in the Drivers' Championship. There's nobody close enough to him in points to really change that. It's about a 70 or 80 point gap up to P2, and then another 50 or 60 point gap down to P4, so he's sort of locked for a Drivers' Championship podium here, just kind of racing it out. Home stretch of the season, of course, though, the penultimate race of the 2023 ARC F1 season. Only one more to go after this.
It would be fitting, as if the race ended like this, the podium would be the exact positions of the championship, and they would have their positions also locked in.
Gap between the leader and teammate Al-Hazmi now down to under half a second after being over a second and a half on the previous half lap or so.
Yep, DRS range now. Al-Hazmi's got to absolutely send it this week. He's got to, while remain respectful, he's got to push. But even winning the race, I don't think, if Mikey de Jong doesn't finish anywhere lower than P2, it's pretty much over. Oh, and they are getting pretty close.
Yeah, Al-Hazmi not leaving much room at all there for teammate Mikey de Jong. However, does make the move stick, at least for the time being. Gets a little loose there.
This is huge for Al-Hazmi, but he's a bit of a Lewis Hamilton situation. Abu Dhabi 2016, he can win the race, but his teammate could ultimately just stay right there. And it's a championship in the bag, Alex.
Yeah. And I mean, maybe Mikey de Jong is probably mulling it over at this point, thinking, is it worth trying to fight for the win this early if I can just kind of sit back and let him punch the hole through the air that I can follow through and all will be well.
Well, if it's anything we've learned through the interviews with Mikey de Jong over the season, he is a racer. Speaking of, he comes back.
Oh, he takes a peek up the inside, tucks back in though. And yeah, if any one moment from the season is to prove Mikey de Jong's mettle as a racer, it is of course the final corner of the final lap of Suzuka.
Also, don't forget Las Vegas costing Al-Hazmi the win and giving it to Boryoshi because the lap car, or the 10-second penalty rather, not lapped, but he was guaranteed a penalty for the incident with Matthew Stotts. He still sat up there and just wouldn't play nice.
Yep, just raced it out, yeah. Fernando vibes, whistle, if nothing else.
Yeah, you gotta play to the whistle. Let the politics of a steward's decision really help as we see our first penalty, and it certainly won't be our last. Discussed it in the broadcast of the qualifying session y'all didn't see. Track limits are a must to keep under control here. So easy to go wide because the curbs are where the speed is. You can extend the track, you can extend your arc.
Mikey de Jong, after having reclaimed the lead from Al-Hazmi, has already built himself out about a second gap, just under a second, so still within DRS range is Al-Hazmi.
Ooh, he's really absolutely giving it everything right now. And Tyler Crabtree takes a 3-second penalty. Penalty counter up to 2. Watch this space, folks.
Of course, yeah, it is right around that time that the three warnings are sort of running their course and drivers are starting to get that fourth incident giving them the penalty. Oh, it looks like Matt Daly making the move on Boryoshi here. He's up into the podium positions. On those hard compound tires, just racing for his life at this point. Not even empty on ERS charge either. About the same amount of ERS charge as Boryoshi. So just kind of making the move work on merit, more or less. Boryoshi looking to get back in front as soon as he can, though, it looks like.
Matthew Daly is making a case for himself to be signed to, I'm not sure his contract situation with AJ's team, but I'm sure there's got to be a team owner out there that values it more than the second-tier team. He's got top-tier ability, and I think he's fully deserving of a solid seat alongside a great teammate.
Certainly agree. Of course,
Stand-up guy, even better on the track. Well respected by all of his peers.
involved in a first of its kind trade, more or less, at least as far as
Yes.
I've seen in ARC, a straight one-for-one driver trade between Ferrari and the Aston Martin team. Boryoshi with DRS wide open, gets right up into the back of that Aston Martin, but not quite enough to make a move here. He will tuck back in into turn one. And AJ Knickel already into the pits, it looks like. What will it be for him? Oh, he has bottled
we
his
got a battle for
strategy.
the lead.
AJ
Al
Knickel
Azmi is
with a...
back by.
For the time being, it looks like it is Al Hazmi back into the lead of this race, yes. The gap working its way up to about 1 second after Mikey de Jong had reclaimed the lead. Let's see how far up Al Hazmi can take that gap now.
Can Matthew Daly reel these guys in for an improbable win while these guys squabble? Do we see a Lewis Hamilton, Nico Rosberg, Spain 2016? Could the Williams guys take each other out with Matthew Daly in an astonishing position here? Still early days, but speculative.
I mean, another thing to note with this Williams team is they're not overly opportunistic, I feel. Either one of them will make the move on the other only if they know it's a guaranteed gain of the position. They won't take many risks when it comes to trying to pass each other, at least not this late in the season.
AJ's had himself a solo spin in the back as penalty number 4 comes in for Luke Allen.
I believe that's number 2 for him independently.
4 total for the race. AJ, unsure what he's doing. Driving rather...
Came in for a wing replacement and bottled his strategy, switched from the medium compound to the hard compound tires. AJ Knickel, not sure. He's in the gravel at the moment, trying to work his way back onto the track, I think.
And he's retired on track.
It looks like it, yeah.
And penalty number 5.
Interesting spot with the race leaders about to come to that part of the track, but of course, being just a video game, they can instantly make that car go poof, and we are all the better for it. Back to racing once again.
You'll be awarded no points for this race. Remember, 90% classification rule.
Yeah, only about a third, a little over a third of the way through this Grand Prix. That will clearly not be enough. Mikey de Jong, in that little scuffle, managed to reclaim the lead of this race, gap about half a second. Al Hazmi working it down ever so slowly, though, with another track limits violation being assessed, this time to Julius Duku. And yeah, Matty Daly is chipping away at that gap between him and Al Hazmi. However, the DRS assistance here for the Williams will kind of pull him back to around 2 seconds behind. And it's Al Hazmi once again up into the lead of this race after making the slip on Mikey de Jong. Mikey de Jong not putting up too much of a fight, of course. Just too late in the season to risk anything, trying to pinch each other one way or the other. However, on that first lap, we saw Al Hazmi really working his teammate quite wide.
You have to do what you have to do. Sure, they're teammates, but Al Hazmi has to at least win this race and see how everything else plays out. You gotta worry about yourself at some point, you know?
Boryoshi, of course, doing well to stick right with that Aston also. Two different strategies, it appears, though. Matt Daly starting on those hard compound tires, Boryoshi opting for the mediums.
We're gonna see another pass. I think the gap might be too much here.
Hovering right around 7/10 there, the gap between Al Hazmi and Mike de Jong. Not sure if it'll be quite enough. It looks like Al Hazmi's too far ahead of Mike de Jong on this occasion for him to be able to make a move.
Luke Allen gets his third, 7 total for the race there, track limits.
And with the DRS assistance, it is the other Red Bull of Boriyoshi making the slip on Matt Daly on those medium compound tires. He probably just wants to run away with it at this point, or at least try to some extent, knowing that he has better grip on that compound than the driver currently chasing him.
No.
Oh no! Matt Daly with the commentator's curse. It looks like next one to be assessed a track limits violation. That'll be 3 seconds for him. After singing his praises.
Boriyoshi step out a bit a couple times too, so just don't be surprised if that Red Bull gets one of his own.
Yep, so on halfway through lap 11 at this point, and already half of the field having received track limits violations. Should be more to come, of course.
8 penalties in total. Sorry. That is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yes, 8. Remember, AJ Knickel before retiring had a 3-second penalty.
Julius Duku should be mentioned, running pretty well here, currently holding down that P6 position, but his performance is pretty quiet most weekends. However, he had a cracking qualifying lap today. Seems to be very comfortable at Losail, doing his best to chase down that McLaren of Tyler Crabtree ahead of him.
Yep, it was 1.7 from Mikey de Jong to what was Matthew Daly, and then they started squabbling. Gap went back down to 2.6. But Boriyoshi slowly reeling back in the Williams. 2.1 the gap now.
Yeah,
Matt Daly not losing DRS to Boriyoshi either.
Yeah, doing real well to keep it within a second. As mentioned, time and again already. I mean, Matt Daly's on those hard compound tires. Let's take a look at the tire detail to see who else opted. It is Tyler Crabtree. Yep, Julius Duku, Jamie Knock, and Luke Allen are the rest of the hard compound runners today. The other 4 opting for the mediums.
Is Julius Duku gonna get DRS? I don't think so. Oh, Boriyoshi's into the pits.
Into the pits, looking to make an undercut work here on Matt Daly, perhaps. Of course, on different strategies anyway, so Matt Daly is off and running. Boriyoshi will get spat back out, I believe, into P7, P8 maybe.
It's all the way back down. Yeah, P8. And 12 seconds for Luke Allen.
I believe that's the 4th track limits violation for that Red Bull, unfortunately.
Yep.
So it is now Matt Daly's burden to carry, trying to chase down those lead 2. The gap is currently sitting right around 2.7. When Boriyoshi had ducked into the pits, the gap was right around 2 seconds flat.
Yeah, but now with those two losing a DRS advantage, did Matthew Daly take too much out of the tires in his fight with Boriyoshi? There's a lot of uncertainties as we see another one. Now everybody on the track besides the top 3 in the championship have track limits penalty. Who's that pitting?
That is Al-Hazmi. Next one to come in. Now he is looking to make the undercut work here because him and teammate Mikey de Jong started on the same compound and appear to be on the same strategy. So de Jong is off and running now. Matt Daly about 4 seconds behind. Plenty of room there for him, and it is a fresh set of hard compound tires for the Williams. Looks like he will be spit back out into P8 as well. Oh no, he'll get the jump here on Boriyoshi, it looks like. Gap much closer than it was before, though.
If that's close, you gotta just see how much time is Mikey de Jong losing right now to his teammate Boriyoshi on fresher tires.
Yeah, nearly half the race distance already spent on this medium compound tire that Mike DeYoung started on, so you have to think that for him to really have a good shot here, he's going to have to bring it in on this lap, or else he'll have to risk the gap being well over a second.
Yeah. Matthew Daly has lost a lot of time. Oh, we got a caution. Something happened to Fabian there. Is just getting out of the way of the two rivals.
So it will be the Williams of Mikey DeYoung ducking in on this lap, the lap after teammate trying to cover off the undercut. As they're making their way through 15 at the moment, yeah, and I think they'll have him. Making the run to turn 16 are Al-Hazmi and Boryoshi.
This has brought Boryoshi a lot closer too. This is going to be very close, Alex, but I don't think it's going to be enough.
So as we see them coming across the line now, Mikey DeYoung hard on the throttle. Will he have it? He does have the inside position, and he will maintain his spot among these three. However,
yeah, but the hard tires take a second to fire up, Alex, and these two have been well and truly on it. Oh no, Boryoshi's losing face.
Yeah, Mikey DeYoung may have hung himself out to dry a little bit here. But yeah, Boryoshi having a moment. Al-Hazmi taking the peak up the inside on just about every corner, knowing that the way that these hard tires behave, he is definitely in the advantageous position.
18 seconds for Luke Allen there. And these three fastly approaching Jamie Knock. Kind of running his own race.
Already putting his foot down and building out a gap of about half a second to teammate Al-Hazmi. Boryoshi also about half a second back.
Mikey DeYoung is pushing a lot right now. And these two will have DRS, but I don't know if it'll be enough. Gonna need a good exit here. I mean, Mikey DeYoung will have the slipstream of Jamie Knock in front of him. It's gonna... Yeah, look.
But is there enough room for Al-Hazmi to make the move? No. He takes a peek and tucks right back in behind his teammate, who himself is behind the AlphaTauri. Boryoshi recognizing the situation and also backing out a bit himself.
Yeah, Jamie Knox like, that is not my race. Mikey DeYoung has barely any battery left. And AJ, I believe, is left. Elvis has left the building, Alex.
Yeah, some early trouble on lap 1. Just couldn't figure it out after that. Had to come in for a wing change, and by that point he knew his race was kind of over and done with.
The point meant nothing to him in the end there, so... Julius Dooku ducks into the pit for his first stop.
Did very well to stick with that McLaren of Tyler Crabtree, as mentioned. Great showing thus far from Julius Dooku.
Gonna be a move for the potential lead as, yeah, we see Al-Hazmi go fastest.
Yep, that is a extra point if he's able to hold on to that, but of course we should expect to see a lap faster as fuel levels start to fall even further over the halfway point of this Grand Prix at this point, and this is it. I mean, all three of these drivers that we're watching right now who will be fighting for the win are on the final leg of their strategy. We should not expect any of these three to duck back in for another set of tires.
Nope.
Matt Daly, though, with the well-deserved lap lead here at Low Sail, I mean, he's really turned it on, but a bit too late, I must say. It was about 4 or 5 races left that he really started to shine among the rest of the grid, but...
Yeah, he's had a beautiful second half to the season, Alex. It was almost like the move to Ferrari really lit a fire. He's performed well, even sometimes outperforming those at Aston.
Yeah, I
As
mean,
we
we
said,
see
he
it.
even took his maiden podium at Vegas.
Into the pits now will be the two that were running 1 and 2, Matt Daly and Tyler Crabtree, both ducking in. Maybe trying to trying to cover the undercut of Julius Dooku here.
Yeah, Matthew Daly is going to have his work cut out to get back to Boryoshi. Del Fabian comes into the pits for an unscheduled stop.
And what'll it be for him? Oh, locking up a bit as he tries to slow down and make the speed limit. And it looks like it will be a fresh set of soft compound tires for the AlphaTauri. 11 laps to make them last. Can he do it?
Good luck.
Back to the lead though, and right around 1 second separating these three drivers altogether.
Boryoshi doing everything he can to hang in there, but the pace with these two are just almost too much. And it's just been that way all season. Obviously, the championship points lay where they lay. There's a reason it's these three.
Being the final stint and being both of them on the same compound of tires, Mikey de Jong, his hard compound, 1 lap younger than Al-Hazmi's. I believe at this point, Mikey de Jong is just kind of letting Al-Hazmi do all the work for him, and then he's going to just kind of make his slip somewhere towards the end, as he's known to do.
Oh, his energy deployment speaks otherwise, Alex. Oh, Al-Hazmi went wide. Gotta be careful. You do not want to be taking a penalty if you're these two.
Yeah, the only 3 drivers left on the grid yet to incur a track limits penalty. And of course, it's the 3 fighting for the win.
Already 13 penalties handed out in this race for track limits.
Oh, man.
6 of them going to the Red Bull of Luke Allen.
We warned you, folks. We knew it was going to be happening. Just took the first few laps to let the warnings be assessed, and then it was just kind of a
waterfall.
an overflow from there, yeah. Yeah, Boryoshi dropping about a 10th and a half on that previous lap, though. Just barely within DRS range now.
Oh, and here we see it. Mikey de Jong refused to even go to 8th. Completely out of the gas. I don't know if you have the telemetry up, but kind of just not really pressing the issue.
Yeah, sort of taking it like a final few laps at Talladega type situation. Just staying close enough that he can line up his move when the time comes, and he knows it, and his teammate probably knows it, and Boryoshi probably knows it as well. However, we just don't know exactly when.
You get a penalty. You get a penalty. Oh, somehow Luke Allen managed to get another one with his 7th.
And it seems the issue, if nothing else, for Boryoshi out on this night seems to be consistency over the course of a lap. He is up a 10th on Mikey de Jong, and then down a 10th on Mikey de Jong. At any given point, it seems he has his zones where he's better than others in. However, Mikey de Jong and Al-Hazmi just consistent all the way through as expected.
Look at the throttle play here from Mikey. I believe what you're seeing with Boryoshi, Alex, is the fact that on these little straights here, Mikey will have a solid slipstream from his teammate in front, but in the corners he'll drop back a bit due to the dirty air coming across the front of the car. So it's
Yeah.
ebbing and flowing. Horioshi appears to be up quite a bit. Horioshi just struggling to get the front of that Red Bull turned into the corner.
Pushing for the win nonetheless. The gaps between any of these three drivers has not been over 1 second for quite a while.
Yeah, since the pit stops.
Since Mikey's pit exit, actually. Perfectly timed.
Yeah. Bit of a kerfuffle.
Mike DeYoung closer on this lap than previous, but yet again backs out as he makes the run towards turn 1, not giving it all.
No, he's gonna wait until lap 29 into turn 1. Luke Allen gets his 8th penalty of the race. Nearing disqualification, I'm afraid.
So, as it stands, if this is the finishing order of this Grand Prix, then it will be a lock for Mikey DeYoung winning the Drivers' Championship, regardless of teammate Al-Hazmi winning the Grand Prix. That, of course, will come much later in the race, about, 6.5 laps left to go at the moment. Oh, and Al-Hazmi working out a little bit of a gap here. The gap between them was hovering right around 3/10 for most of the last few laps. It has now worked its way up to about 6/10. However, Mike DeYoung very quickly says, no thank you, not too comfortable being that far behind. Instantly pulls the gap down to about 4/10 instead of 6. 2/10 and 2 corners. I mean, what can you really ask for? Oh, takes a peek there, Mikey DeYoung, but tucks back in. He was really thinking about it.
Well, there's actually, I stand corrected, Alex. I was just doing a bit of math. If Al-Hazmi wins this race, no fastest lap included, because that's sitting with Jamie Knock at the moment, I believe. The gap would be 25 points. So there's still a mathematical chance that Al-Hazmi can stave off the championship win for his teammate for one more week. But 25 points, you're gonna have to hope your teammate wrecks, and you're gonna have to win the race.
With the fastest lap as well, of course.
I don't know. Yeah, a tie would be a bit peculiar, wouldn't it? You'd have to say it'd go on wins, and I believe Mikey has the most of those.
Interesting little tidbit of F1 trivia. If drivers end the season tied in the Drivers' Championship for the first position, and they're also tied on total race wins, the next metric that they use to determine the winner is they add up the total race time of each individual driver and just decide from there who has the lower total time over the course of a whole season.
I would hate to have to do that.
Yeah, that is quite a bit of math that you'd have to pay me a lot of money to do. Thankfully, we've not seen it happen, of course, since the new system was introduced of scoring. But always something to think about, always in the back of my mind. I mean, I always cheer for the chaos, of course. I want Al-Hazmi to win this one just to see what may or may not happen next week.
Absolutely. Make a race. Make the Williams have to race in Abu Dhabi, Alex.
So, holding station, the top three, about half a second of a gap between 1 and 2 as well as 2 and 3.
Al-Hazmi's gonna want Boryoshi to get his teammate here. You gotta think, like, why wouldn't Al-Hazmi try and back Mikey up into Boryoshi?
Yeah. Yeah, would be a good idea.
You have to. Lewis Hamilton did that to Nico Rosberg in 2016. You have to try. You're at the point of the season where you're on your last breath. You're on your last breath. You have to back him up. That position's worth 3 more points. That's difference between 25 and 22. Like, you.
Well, I mean, that's the championship tied up as well if that manages to happen.
Not tied. It would just be, the gap would be 25. So
Oh, I meant like tied up and put a bow on it. Like it'll be done. It'll be done at that point because the gap, the points difference will be insurmountable for one Grand Prix for Al-Hazmi to overcome.
No. I'm saying if Al-Hazmi backs up Mikey into Boryoshi and Boryoshi gets up into P2, that would put the gap from 25 to 22.
Yes.
Again, barring any fastest laps, but I don't think these three have the ability for fastest lap today.
I think it's actually Matt Daly currently sitting on the fastest lap, oddly enough.
I thought it was Matthew Daly, and then Jamie Knock came and scooped it away.
Oh, okay.
Yep. Yeah.
Can't tell, of course, with those penalty assessments.
Yeah.
Just the icon for the fastest lap does not appear when the driver who holds it also is holding on to a penalty, unfortunately, which is literally 66% of the grid, 2/3.
Call up Semisonic, Alex. It's closing time.
It certainly is. We are...
Here's the thing. Mikey de Jong has been charging his battery for 10 laps. Al-Hazmi has been doing the opposite.
Yeah, this is a bit of a Mexican standoff. The gap staying about half a second between each of these drivers for the previous 5 or 6 laps or so.
He's got to back him up into Boryoshi.
I mean, it looks like everybody's a bit gun-shy. Nobody's looking to take the big risk on one another just because I'm sure
Boryoshi, if he could get there, would do something, but he's just been not... He just doesn't have the front-end bite when he gets within, like, half a second of these guys. You can see him really struggling through the low to mid-speed corners.
Yeah, the dirty air really messing with that car and unsettling it looks like today.
Whereas, for some reason, Mikey de Jong's car seems to relish in the turbulent air of his teammate.
Bit odd, given that the gap is just about the same between these three, so you'd imagine, of course, Mikey de Jong getting a bit of that turbulent air that Boryoshi's unfortunately dealing with, being the same distance back as Boryoshi is. This time around, though, it looks like Mikey de Jong is much closer. Gap about 2.5 tenths there, now up to 3. Takes a peek up the inside, just letting his teammate know he's still there.
I don't think his teammate has forgotten, to be honest. We are winding down. What turned out to be a fantastic race. We wasn't eventful, but the driving at the beginning of the second stint sure has kept us intrigued. The question remains, will a driver be crowned champion today? Remains to be seen with coming to 2 to go.
Yep, making their way through the final corner now. And let's see, is this the lap Mikey de Jong decides to pounce? It looks like he's not quite close enough, even with DRS assistance, to be able to make a move here. However, he might just do it anyway. Takes a peek, but not enough, yeah.
Completely backed out of the throttle. He's going to wait until the last lap, Alex. He's just teasing his prey at this point.
Yeah, he's got Al-Hazmi bent all out of shape. A little bit of a twitch on the corner exit there coming out of 3.
Yeah, Al-Hazmi has 3/4 of battery for lap 29 saved up. Boryoshi has nearly half his battery saved up. Al-Hazmi could be looking possibly a P3 if they're going to pounce on him here. Boryoshi has nothing to lose. He is going to be P3 in the championship no matter the outcome of the end of this race and next week in Abu Dhabi.
Yeah, why not upgrade that bronze trophy to a silver?
He can't get to P2 in the championship.
However, if this is the way that it is to remain till the end of the race, if Al-Hazmi does come away with the win here, I mean, you have to question Mikey's strategy call, just tucking in
Here he
behind him for
comes.
so long. He had a peak, but not quite. This will be
Yep.
it, though. This is the straight that Mikey de Jong will have to make some magic happen. Much closer to Boryoshi this
it is
time
over.
around. Much closer to Boryoshi than the previous few laps, and he breezes right by. Oh my goodness.
Here comes Boryoshi down the inside!
Oh, up the inside of Al-Hazmi. And will there be a switchback move made there? There will not. Boryoshi does manage to hold on to P2 for the moment. Al-Hazmi all out of shape. Big twitches, losing the rear end left and right. And wow, Mikey de Jong pouncing like a jungle cat. He knew exactly when it would happen.
What?
And it looks like we have been booted from the lobby.
No.
It looks like the lobby has died on us. 2 turns into the final lap of the Grand Prix. Oh my goodness. We will keep the stream up just to see, of course, what will happen from here. Billy, do you think they would call it at that?
Wow.
The game said, you guys want to see a great finish? Well, too bad. No idea what happened. According to the game, though, I mean, just the finishing position is what it was at the time of the lobby death, but we'll wait to hear from the FIA and the appropriate bodies of authority to see if this is how it stands. But if so, I mean, that is Mikey de Jong and Al-Hazmi with yet another 1-2. And if it's to be the case, I believe that is the championship locked up for Mikey de Jong. Of course, not sure at all what is going on at the moment. Waiting for word, just kind of trying to fill the time until we get it. A great race cut short, a masterclass in respect and just tact all around. Those top 3 drivers showing exactly what needs to be done to get the win in Qatar, but game just not letting them. Yeah, Con, not too not too sure what's going on, but the game really didn't want us to see a good finish there for some reason. Kind of rude.
We're going to have to get these guys in here to see what they saw.
Well, I mean, you were the first name I saw leave the session. And after that, it was a cascade of other names, and I knew that we done boofed it.
I am just trying to gather thoughts.
Yeah, we are, we are speaking through the appropriate channels at the moment just to see what the outcome is meant to be here. Oh, and I mean, it does seem like that will be how this will finish, I suppose. Controversial.
I got to ask, Mikey, we had a bit of a host migration problem on our screen there at the end. What actually transpired? We saw you take the position into T1. We saw Boryoshi come back from a mile back, go into T1, overtake your teammate, dropping him from P1 to P3 in one corner. Is that how everything finished?
That is how everything finished, but Boriyoshi let my teammate through at the end of the like the beginning of the straight.
Yeah, I believe. Wait, did you guys get to the checkered flag?
Yeah.
Oh, I got. Alex, did you get to the checkered flag?
No. No, it was
Okay, yeah.
turn 5 or 6, I believe, on the final lap.
Yeah, we got kind of thrown out, so we were just like, wow, hopefully without us paying attention, okay, well, where is Boriyoshi then? Bit of a, uh, yeah, hold on. Where is Boriyoshi?
Yeah.
Oh, shoot. I didn't even see you join. I turned this on. All right.
Is the stream even
Okay.
up?
It was, but like we got kicked and it kind of destroyed. Is the stream still up?
Yes, we're still going.
Okay.
Was waiting for word on the final results if this would be the legitimate
Yeah.
finish or if we'd have a one lap
We
shootout.
missed something. We got thrown out. Me and Alex got thrown out of the race session on turn 6 of the final lap. So we didn't see you give back the position. Boriyoshi, you sent it up the inside there for P2. Felt like you got into Al-Hazmi a bit. Didn't seem to be the case, but gentlemanly enough, you gave the position back for another podium. P3, this is where you guys finished this year, P3, going into the last race. Walk us through your race, man.
Yeah, I got two warnings when like the first four laps, which was not ideal. So I was incredibly nervous for the rest of the race, but I didn't use my ERS very well at the start, so those guys got away, and then I was just left like outside of the DRS train, but with a ton of ERS, which doesn't compensate, especially because it doesn't regen very quickly around here. So I took a risk and undercut them both with the early pit stop, which did pay off. And then chilled behind them both to see if anything would unfold, and then at the end, just yeah, sense it. But I did clip Al Hasbi, and I didn't want to have like the championship decided with something like that, so decided to give the position back.
Well,
Who's gonna tell him?
I gotta tell you, Boyoshi, from our point of view, you never touched him. It was a clean overtake. You were given plenty of room, and it was a pretty clean move we saw in the broadcast. At least from I was riding on board with you. It there was no contact.
I felt like a left rear to front right, but
No.
anyway.
Anyways, either way, P3 in the race, P3 in the championship. Uh, Barring next week, obviously a great season for you and the team. Looking to roll that success forward next season.
Yeah, for sure. I feel like the second half of my season's been a lot better. Firstly, like transitioning to this game and then getting used to this game. So hoping that I can carry some of this form into next season, and then hopefully be challenging up with these guys for P1 and P2 if I can just find another like 10th or two in raw pace.
All right, man. Well, good luck.
Thanks.
Al Asmi, you just coming up short. Just you gave it everything. You did everything you needed to do, but ultimately it was just too much. Walk us through the race, man. Walk us through an outstanding season. Don't think the P2 is anything to slouch on. You had a fantastic season, very consistent. Got the wins, got the podiums, and good season, man. Walk us through everything.
Well, the entire season.
Walk us, yeah. It's decided. Your P2, the championship is over as of now. So just walk us through everything.
Well, I mean, the entire season, I did kind of feel like I might have had a chance of winning the championship, but I think I did miss a couple of races due to my power outages, as usual. And I feel like if it weren't for those, I might have even been bringing this fight into the final round. But it was unfortunate. It was a good season. I enjoyed all of the battles, the wins. I did get my first arc win this season, and with the 3 consecutive wins, that was pretty nice as well. And the entire championship fight with my teammate was just incredible. But yeah, other than that, I really enjoyed the season. And for this race, it was just a matter of fighting the ERS consumption, but I couldn't do anything. I didn't touch the ERS button from the moment I went for the hards until the end of the race. and I still was losing ERS every single lap.
Yeah,
And
it's
yeah,
a
that
bit
just yeah.
strange. But I mean, listen, you had the raw pace, you had tons of success, and we're gonna keep bugging you about it. We have this race and possibly next race to ask. You coming back next season?
I'm thinking about it.
Think about it. You're gonna
Maybe.
leave everybody. Are we gonna know definitively by the end of Abu Dhabi?
Maybe a week or two after.
Oh, so you're gonna let everybody go home for the season, just let their minds drift, and then you're just gonna hit them with an announcement whether you're here or gone. Okay, keep it mysterious, I guess. But either way, huge congrats on a successful season, man. You hit the ground running once you guys said. You guys, from the moment you guys first stepped on the track in Bahrain, the patented what seemed like for the first four races, the spin and wins for Team Williams. You guys absolutely powered through. You guys wrapped up the constructors weeks ago, but finally a solidification on the season. P2, congrats, and hopefully we see you next season, man.
Yeah, thanks.
Let's talk to the man we've spoken to the most this season, Mikey DeYoung. First off, congrats on a epic season. You said early on, about halfway through the season, you have a habit of choking away championships, but your name will be etched into the history books of ARC. You are the 2023 ARC F1 champion. How do you feel? Walk us through your season, man. Congrats.
Well, I mean, it this is my first championship in a long time. So I'm very happy about it. And yes, it wasn't a very easy start at the beginning, spinning a lot and or not finishing or not starting a race, uh, because I'm just too busy partying or drinking too much, so it doesn't work. And then when I do race, I just put the amazing results P2, P1, or P3, and I tried to do that all season long. Um, it went good in the middle of the season, and then near the end, it kind of fell off. I started to finish outside of the podium again, and missing a race, and a lot of stuff happened. But then I uh, got everything back, started to win again, and my confidence became high again. But because of that, because if that didn't happen, I think I would have lost it anyway, and would have choked another championship. So and this race, I underfueled my car way too much, so I tried to stay behind my teammate all race long, so I could make the finish line. And until the last lap, I was like, okay, now I need to make the move, otherwise I'm gonna stay behind him, and the championship is gonna go another week.
Well, man, since April, you and your teammate have been the epitome of consistency. You guys have put in great results, and honestly, I think I can speak for Alex in saying that it's been a pleasure to call the races this season. You guys have put up one hell of a fight towards each other. Things that come to mind is the last lap of Suzuka, as Alex mentioned in the broadcast. Vegas, when you knew you had the penalty, but you just have the dog in you. You guys have had the dog all season. All three of you just I think I've talked to you, your teammate Boryoshi, more times than I've talked to my own sister for the past 9 months. You guys have just been here every week. You just had, I guess you could call it the Williams podcast, but just a huge congrats, guys. And I really do hope that you guys come back next season because there'll be a lot missing. You guys, just the pace, it's been beautiful. And we thank you for what you guys have done on track. And again, congratulations on a championship, man. You're a world champion, double world champion for you guys. You guys should be proud. Drink up tonight, Mikey.
Yes, I will drink for it.
Of course, one more race left on the schedule. That is Abu Dhabi. We hope to see you right back here next week for it. Of course, tomorrow as well, we've got the Euro Series drawing to a close, the penultimate round, the San Marino Grand Prix, which will be at Imola, of course. That'll be happening tomorrow afternoon. And then over on GT7, we have the first round of the ARC Super Formula Series. That'll be at Suzuka at 7 p.m. Eastern. Make sure you tune in for that too. And all the rest of the ARC events we've got happening all across the week. Bunch of new series starting up, bunch of big name series like this drawing to a close. So make sure you get in on the action when you can. Sorry. Well, I think that'll do it from here tonight. Mikey DeYoung, crowned champion in the Williams team, had it done and dusted well beforehand. The Constructors' Championship was locked up quite a while ago, but if you're still tuning in, we want to thank you, and we'll see you next week. Signing off.